Good morning or good afternoon, evening-ish, whatever time it actually is, as you're listening here to KR92. Thankful that we've gotten now a couple of reunions here on 92.1 FM regarding your Belleville Buffaloes, as it is 20 years. Yeah, 20 years. Gosh, time does fly. 20 years since the 2006 Republic County Lady... Nope. Dang it. The Belleville Lady Buffaloes, to be politically correct, went undefeated and capping it off with a state championship. The Lady Buffs then 26-0, the final year of USD
273.
427.
Oh,
Yeah,
427.
427, right? I was going to say 426, but I knew that wasn't right. Anyways, I'm Jesse Sternad, this part of our Great Plains Precision Ag pregame show here on Care 92. So, ladies and Eric, I'll just let you all introduce yourselves and the position you played, what year you were in '06.
Nikki, you better start. You better start with the seniors that year.
Okay, Nikki Cleveland, Nikki Castle. My senior year, I was a guard, but otherwise I was a forward. I don't know what else you wanted me to say, but there you go.
I'll go next. I'm Bailey Swersinski Garlow. I was a senior in 2006, and I was a guard.
Molly Brenner Freidendahl. I was a senior, and I was also a guard.
I can go next. Ashley Nooch / Ashley Junker. I was a senior in the 2006 team, and I was the 5 or the post.
Karen.
Juniors.
Yes. Junior, Karen Brown, now Ashworth. And like I said, I was a junior then. Played guard up top with Bailey.
Twins.
Kristen Lewandowski, now Kristen Swanson. When I did get to play, I was a sophomore and I was a forward.
Is that everybody now? I think. And then for our other two guests of
That's
this meeting,
Molly.
if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Well, I'm Molly Williams, and I got to be their assistant coach. It was my first year, and it was my first big girl job in a way.
And I'm Eric Olgid. I was the sports guy for KR92 back then, and that was my second year in Belleville. So that was quite a start to a radio career. So thank you for everything.
And yeah, a team you had to cover. And again, looking at all these stats, the fact that you had all of this, which I'm told that I take stats too seriously, what I keep track of, and mine looks like something a junior high kid would do compared to what you've got, Eric. So if there's anybody that knows this Belleville '06 team, it is you. Again, folks, I was in 4th grade when this thing happened, so and I haven't sat at the country club listening to stories for years and years and years like I have the 95 football team, so my memories of this obviously aren't as good, or my knowledge isn't as vast as it is about that '06 team. I can tell you we played a lot of Minesweeper down in Coach Sheets' room and Mr. Calloway's room. We gave the Sheets girls plenty of crap. They terrorized us boys as well. And that's about all I've got for you for my elementary memories of Belleville basketball before the consolidation. So, Eric, I guess I'll let you take this thing away. Again, as everybody knows, Lady Buffaloes, a special year, undefeated. If you guys just want to walk through it and everything that you guys remember.
Well, okay, let's start, I guess, at the beginning, right? The Thayer Central game was the first one, 69-15, and big. Obviously, we had 51 shots compared to their 34, and yeah, we'll test you on your stat keeping later, Jesse. But I had Belleville, and I'm probably going to say Republic County in a few years, but Belleville for a 47-26 rebounding advantage in that game. But we did turn it over 14 times, which I'm sure Coach Stout was not pleased with. But game one, they get out and get after it. And then we always started then with the Nebraska two-step. So home game against Thayer Central, and then at Superior, that would have been on that Saturday. and that one was closer, 41-32. And I'll ask the girls, do you guys remember? And because they've still had these notoriety, at least in the state of Nebraska, there probably was a Meyer girl, the oldest one, Leah, probably. Was she your guys' age, or was she still younger?
I don't remember.
She probably would have been a forward post.
You can't be telling me there's that many years worth of Myers in Superior.
Yes. Yeah.
Good Lord.
And so now they finally have their boy. And there's I think there's cousins, but yeah. So Leah was right in there, and then she had another younger sister, and then Kaylin came along, and she was the one that played volleyball at Nebraska for a couple years, and then I think she's trying to get to the Olympics for discus. I don't know if you guys did you Ashley, did you throw against her? Did you guys have track meets with Superior?
Yeah, we did. It was always the start of the year.
Yeah. Anyway, so like that's kind of how I remember some of this too. But it has been 20 years, so like it starts to get a little fuzzy in here, at least for me. But there was anytime you beat Concordia, that would have been a big deal. Actually, Concordia made one more basket than what the Buffs did that night, but we made 19 out of 29 free throws, which is pretty good. Won the rebounding battle, won the turnover battle, and then you got to have a big win at home against Valley Heights, and then we were on the road to Russell, and if I remember right, that's probably about where the Christmas break would have happened. So you guys would have gone to Christmas 5-0, and I'm sure ranked by that point. If we've beaten Concordia and we've beaten Valley Heights, surely we're probably somewhere in there, because you guys didn't start number one by any means, right? I think you probably started ranked, but not that high where you would get to. So we got, let's pause there. Christmas break, you guys have won everything so far. What do you guys remember about Christmas break? Obviously, you guys didn't have a holiday tournament, so there's some extra practices in there. But what was Coach Stout and Williams talking about during Christmas?
I can just remember us being 5-0, and kind of like Bailey, whenever we were reminiscing prior to this, you always dream of being a state champion, especially whenever you put in a lot of time and effort like we did. But being undefeated, I don't know, it's something maybe we started thinking of, but I don't know. It was just kind of we're 5-0, we can't lose. And I don't know. I think we started making some bets with some people on, well, what if we are undefeated? What are we going to do here? So I remember it being a really fun time too. And we did do practices but Coach Stout, he was pretty modest. Like we didn't ever really talk about it, I don't think, as much. Like it was just keep to the grind. Anyone else?
I believe the window paint said 5-0. Ho, 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 5-0.
Yeah, it did. We used to, Eric, I don't know if you were here or you probably know about this, but we used to somewhat vandalize Coach Stout's yard after each win. We would go and fork it or write on his windows or whatnot. So
I don't think I knew that part, actually. Maybe that's a good thing.
sorry, Beloit or Belleville Police Department.
All right, so we've gotten through Christmas, and you get to come back from Christmas and the gauntlet of home game against Beloit and then at Sacred Heart. And I know obviously Beloit was always a big rival, and just looking at the stats, the score was 46-30. Beloit made 12 baskets. They were 0 for 7 on threes. You were plus 14 in rebounds. Couldn't even tell you anything about that Beloit team though. But just knowing it was Beloit, that was had to be a big, not necessarily a mental hurdle, but always a good one to get, right?
I think I had a technical foul in one of those games against Beloit. I think I did. Mm-hmm.
What did
Well,
you
they would
do?
have put full court
I think
pressure
she was
on
going
us.
up for a layup, and I think they called me for a technical on that.
Did you
Because I remember
tackle her?
hearing my mom from the crowd yell at me, and I was like, okay.
That's too
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, pretty sure I did.
Okay, see, that's exactly why we have to do these kinds of reunions, because boy, that one's lost to the stats somewhere.
That's fine. It doesn't need to be on the stats.
Okay.
You
And then
broadcast it on the radio, right?
right, I'm sure it was on the radio somewhere. So then that next game would have been at Sacred Heart, and the one thing I do remember about that season was the Sacred Heart girls at that time were really good. Like they were also probably ranked. They had another girl athlete that was
Mhm.
kind of all state volleyball, basketball. I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but just remember thinking, well, yeah, she's really good. And then let's see, you guys win that one 43-29, plus 10 in rebounds, plus 15 in free throws attempted. And they shot it 51 times, but 17 of them were threes. So that's a good way to keep it out of a good post hand. And then some good wins against Ellsworth and southeast of Saline, and that takes you then to the Hillsborough tournament. So that the Hillsborough tournament, I remember this as far as the radio broadcasting. I was not at because I was still for the radio. We were still covering the Pike Trail League. That was when we would still go do. We'd cover Pike Valley and Hillcrest North Central for that. That would have been the last year, probably, right? So the next year I would have gone to Hillsborough, but that year for you guys, I was not there. So is there? You had wins over Marion and Wamego, and then Riley County, and obviously Riley County would have been the team that knocked you guys out of Sub-State the year before. So, what do you guys remember about the Hillsborough tournament? Anything that stood out from any of those games? I mean, other than that you win them, obviously.
By a lot.
I think the year before, did we get second at the Hillsborough tournament?
We did. We lost
Okay,
to
so
Riley County. That's
what I was like. I felt like our junior year, your guys' sophomore year, it was like we were always second place. We were always second place. Like, and then finally, like our senior year, your guys' junior, like it was finally like, okay, now it's our turn. Like we're going to come and dominate and show that, hey, we deserved better than losing to Riley County in our sub-state championship. And I think that was the game that, we played Riley County the closest in that sub-state game than what
Yeah.
they ever saw at state. So that was, I guess, a good chip on our shoulder to, to show them like, hey, we deserved something better than what we got the year prior, and that, hey, we're the real deal this year. So watch out.
Right. Was Kelsey Nelson your guys' age, or was she that year older?
Year
She was
older.
a year older.
She's a year older.
Yep.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
felt like I
'cause-
knew everything about her by the end of that sophomore season. So
We were glad to see her gone.
Well, you and everybody else in 3A and 2A,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Now that I say that, does that change any memories? Because you guys had been like Belleville had been 3A forever, but this was the first year that you guys were 2A, I think. So it didn't really change the regular season schedule. And obviously, when you go to Hillsborough, you play, Riley County and Marion. Everybody's 3A there, so it really didn't change for you guys until you got to Sub-State then, where you really added the new 2A teams. Maybe we'll circle back to that when we get to there. So you come out of the Hillsborough tournament, big win over Russell, 53-34. Only +6 in rebounds though, but you still win by 19. 20 of 51 from the field. And then the next game was the one game that was like, oh boy, what happened? An overtime game against Sacred Heart, 60-51. I don't think, if I remember right, I don't think Sacred Heart scored in overtime. Does that sound right?
Yeah, but I remember panicking until overtime.
Yeah. I remember that one as being, like I remember a lot of games, but I remember some vivid moments of that. And I remember for you guys, I remember the overtime of that one and
Yeah.
just how it was like, yeah, the whole game was back and forth and within a couple points the entire game. And then it just seemed like Sacred Heart was kind of excited to get to overtime. And then you guys were like, yeah, that's enough of that. We're done. And now we're winning. And I think at that point, I think that was probably the game for me. And again, I was still learning how teams went through a season, as far as trying to cover them. And so at that point, I was like, "Ooh, we might really be onto something." You guys obviously knew that before I did, though, so that's kudos to you. And then the next, yes, go.
Well, hey, Eric, I'm glad that you've got this, because what the yearbook shows far different than what you've got here, because it's like, okay, we win by 9. Didn't mention that they go to overtime, because all the gals here were talking how they were trailing Sacred Heart the whole game, so worried, and this now makes a lot more sense that it was the Buffaloes having to come back in that game and force it to overtime.
Yeah. And that's the game that, I mean, you can look at the stats. Nikki, Amanda, and Junker, sorry, Ashley, you'll still be Junker always.
That's okay.
Have all the free throws, and we went 92%.
Yes. So Nikki goes 8 for 9.
Game.
Wow.
And, yeah. It was totally won on free throws.
Oh, I don't have rebounds on there. What the heck? Yeah. Yeah. So Nikki goes 8 for 9, Amanda 2 for 2, and Ashley goes 2 for 2. But Karen had 14 though, 2 threes and 6 of 11 from the field. Pretty fair.
Probably left me
alone. Yeah, all the free throws, down low. That's kind of crazy. All right. So then the next game, this is another. I think this is probably the series, but really this game at Minneapolis was the next one, and it 28-20. And I remember this one because they did it twice. You guys shot 27 field goals for the game. Mm-hmm. And if I remember this one right, nobody moved. It wasn't quite a stall game, but just nobody shot. Minneapolis didn't shoot it. You guys didn't shoot it. It was just like, you just kind of stood out there and looked at each other for a long time. And I can't remember if that was necessarily, Molly, maybe you could speak to this. I don't know if that was necessarily Shane's game plan, but it was pretty clearly that was what Minneapolis was trying to do. No shot clock. So it's like, well, we're going to try to make it 25-20 and see if we can't throw something in the fourth quarter kind of thing.
No,
scoring by quarter was nothing too.
Yeah, I remember this game. This game was the game that I remember the most. And I talked to the coach about it too. Their game plan was to stall as long as they could because they knew as soon as we got the ball, we were going to go down and score a basket. So their goal, and I talked to the coach and they were like, we were literally trying to hold it for as long as we could until you took it from us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. That's just crazy. And they did a fairly decent job of it, right? So they shot it 20, you guys shot it 27 times and they shot it 37. Comparatively, the next game you guys played Clay Center, you shot it 50 times. And 30, the next game you shot 30 threes, but against Minneapolis, you shot 27 total field goals. Yeah, just crazy. The second quarter was 14-7. Otherwise, the most points scored in a quarter was 6 by either team in that one. And they did it both times. But the next game was the Clay Center game, and 63-36. And this was the we're going to shoot it now. Nikki made 5 threes. Molly made 2. Bailey made 1. Karen made 1. Celia made 2 late in that one. It was this one I remember is just like, I didn't even know what we were doing all of a sudden. You looked like for a little bit, you looked like the guys the year before when they shot, they had the state record for threes. Jesse, you don't remember that one either, do you?
Nope. Going further and further back to me not being able to talk.
Yeah. But so what changed on the game plan to get so many shots? Because I remember Nikki, she shot 15 threes in that game. Like I said, the previous game, you'd shot 27 total shots. So what changed in 3 days?
I remember, I feel like we were boxed and won a lot on some of the games. Do you guys remember that? I'm
Yeah.
sure that played a big role into our shooting or not shooting, but I don't remember what specific games that was, but it was always pretty frustrating, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I remember if it wasn't a box and one, it was like a 2-3 that nobody left the
Yes.
lane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I remember, so I don't have it written down, but at some point that year was when Tim Garman would start helping me too. And I remember we would, Bailey shot from about 15 feet on a wing, as it would get that, we might get it down to Ashley or Amanda in a post, and then, five girls are surrounding them. And so if they did shoot it, then it was always Bailey on the backside. And that was we called that the can opener shot because it would open up the zone because you could always make it from 15 feet on that backside kick out. So I remember talking about that quite a bit that year. And if I had to guess, most of Ashley's assists for the year were probably throwing it back out the other side, and most of Amanda's assists would have been high low down to Ashley because what do you do with all that? How and I know she's not on here, right? Ashley, Amanda's not on here, but
No.
how much
Jeez.
she's a junior that year? How much did that? And she didn't play a ton the year before as a sophomore, right? So how much did that, or not? Or she played a fair bit, but she didn't have as big of a role. But that year she started to. How much did that help, Nikki? That probably helped you a fair bit because it got you as more of a wing
Hmm.
that year, so you had that dribble drive ability a little more. How much better did you see Amanda get that year as a junior?
I think the thing with Amanda is she's just so tall. And so I just think it took her a little bit to kind of get used to being a skyscraper. And I don't know if she was ever worried about, she'd probably want to punch me for saying this, but I don't know if she was ever worried about hurting somebody or not. But when she showed up and started just getting more physical, that's when you really saw her just develop a lot. And like I said before we started this when we were just chatting, that's how unique everybody's role was. And it really was like a puzzle piece coming together because you have the dynamics of, there is, I don't know. I mean, because we had a good bench too. But you talk about the starters, we all had these different things about us that made us unique. And then you bring in some great people off the bench too, and it just all comes together. But I think once Amanda really grew into her height and being more physical, she really developed a lot.
Yeah, I would agree.
It was really nice as a post to have another post that could get down there and battle with me as well too. And so it was nice that they couldn't just be on our shooters or be on our posts. We were just so well rounded that if they stopped one of us, then the rest of us did their job. And so it was just so balanced that when Amanda slid in too, it was kind of like that last puzzle piece to, like Nikki had talked about, that everybody just did a role and everybody just fit so well together.
Speaking
I,
of that,
yeah.
how fun was it when the first sub was always Amanda would come out and Molly would come in? And when they were playing man to man, it was always the best. Like the next three possessions, they just had no idea what to do with themselves. I loved it.
I very much remember Shane mentioning that multiple times on our interviews throughout the season that he loved bringing Molly in for Amanda
Yes.
because of that exact reason. It said Molly was talking, but I didn't hear anything.
She's giggling.
Oh, she's just giggling. Okay.
Or it could be the
Perfect.
kids' games in the background. Who knows?
Gotcha.
Yeah, bringing
All right.
my daughter along for the ride here.
There you go.
And yeah, you spoke on that a little bit, you guys. For sure, everyone on the roster had their role. I don't know. I was new that season. I don't know if that was how it was going through Shane's program, but you knew exactly what you were to do and what your job was in that position when you went in.
Yeah, and I think that's huge with, sports now. It's like you have a role and you do that to the best of your ability. Not everybody can be the top scorer. Not everybody, can be the top, on that stat line, but it's like, you know what? Ashley and Amanda, they took care of the rebounding and they scored. We just had so many weapons, and I think you can see that through our stats. Like if one game somebody struggled, somebody else could step up, and that's to kudos to our bench too. Like if somebody was struggling, we had a strong 6'7" girl coming in, and that is huge too. We didn't drop off a whole lot at all. 6'7".
Oh,
Yeah,
You heard that.
Oh God.
here
yeah,
we go.
there's the high schooler listening in.
Yeah.
God, isn't it your
Yeah, not a
bedtime?
fourth
Ellie?
grader.
Yeah, not a fourth grader. Okay. So to pick up the season, then we've shot all the threes against Clay Center. You go on the road and you beat Ellsworth 65-50. Um, Ashley has a double double of 20 points, 17 rebounds in that game. Pretty fair stat line. And then you have the road game at Beloit, 37-22. There's another game that it looks like you're up about 8 going to the fourth quarter, and then win the fourth quarter 14-7. Just steady as she goes. Road game against Southeast of Saline, you win that one 47-28. 14-24 free throws. By the way, you guys would have scored a lot more points if you were just a little higher percentage on your free throws every now and
We
then. I
even had a
remember,
run for that. You would have thought we would have been better because
We
we had a
practice those
run.
all the time.
and you had game practice. So I say that. So this is what's funny. At Southeast of Saline, as a team, you go 14-24, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 8 of you that shot at least 2 free throws in that game. The game before at Beloit, only Ashley shoots free throws. Like I don't get that.
Let's be honest, the free throw percentage being down, that was an Ashley fault. We all know that Ashley
I
could
didn't
shoot.
say
Let's
it
be
out loud.
honest.
I
I
just
could not shoot.
just
I didn't have a
mentioned it.
chance to do it 2 or 3 times like I normally did, so I was not very good at just the one thing.
Right there was a few of those offensive rebounds that were miss make, right? There's a couple that happened a few times, but that's okay. So then the last regular season game is a home game against Minneapolis, and we've already talked about that. Minnie did want you guys to shoot, and they took this even more to heart. So 35-28 was the score. You guys were 10 of 32 from the field, and Minneapolis was 7 of 18. So I coached my daughter's 3rd and 4th grade team, and we just ended our season today, and I'm pretty sure we shot more than 18 shots in our game today. So they took the you're not going to shoot, or we're not going to shoot it very much to heart in that game. But there you are. You've reached the end of the regular season. So this is 20-0, and I remember talking with Tim on the radio, like actually getting to the point where we were debating how do you beat the Buffs? Like, what would it actually take to beat you guys? Because you had seen the slow it way down that Minneapolis was doing. Sacred Heart had good athletes. They had always the big rivalry with Beloit. You had good athletes that played for Superior, and it was like, well, they're taking on all of these different types of challenges. And I think I'll let you guys talk about this, but it kind of the extension of talking about your guys' roles and how you all had different roles and played them very well. You guys needed all of those different roles at different parts of the season. Sometimes you needed the guards to be really good. Sometimes you needed, Ashley and Amanda and Nikki to just dominate in the paint. And it kind of didn't matter what the other team had for a strength, because you also had the counter for that.
Yeah, we had tons of weapons that we could call on, which was so nice. I remember my kids, or my daughter who's in junior high, she would ask, who's the best on your team, on your state team? And it took me a minute. I was like, well, and my husband was like, see, that's why they won state, because she can't say, that was the best, because I was like, it just depends. I mean, we had rebounders, we had shooters, we took care of the ball. We didn't do anything fancy with the ball between the legs, behind the back. We took care of it and we got the ball where it needed to go. And it was just, it worked and it was perfect.
I remembered something that I think I was so impressed with you guys. Nobody could press you either.
Mm.
Like your press break, like it might take you 9.5 seconds, and there's a couple times that it did, but it never didn't get across half court. And it was almost like maybe it was Sacred Heart that would try to press, but I remember there was at least a couple games that teams were running and jumping on a full court press, and it just didn't matter. It was like, nope, we're going to get it into Karen in the corner, right back to Ashley, then on the other side, and it was just like everybody just moved up the court in sync. Nobody ever got like, oh, we're running too fast, and now you can't make that pass or whatever. I just remember it being doom doom doom, like an inevitable. It's like a football team running dive on 3rd and 1. Like, oh yeah, they're going to get it. It doesn't matter. So I definitely remember that. So now you've made it to sub-state, and this is the part of the season where, for the first time all year, being in Class 2A is actually the thing. So now you're playing schools that typically have been smaller than you, and you get Clifton Clyde actually in the first round, 59-34. That was one of the quarters that you guys didn't win all year because you outscored them 19-1 in the second quarter. Let's see, and this was also the start of the postseason where, especially shooting wise, Nikki kind of hit a different gear. Nikki, this is when she had 5 out of 10 from 3 and had 21 points, and Ashley had 16 points and 14 rebounds and 4 assists as well. You guys had 18 assists on 22 made shots, and that's probably something that we haven't really talked about, the number of assists per shot. That previous game against Minneapolis, he had 7 assists on the 10 made baskets. And that's a number that, and Molly, you could probably talk to this a little bit more too. The assists to made field goals for that team was really incredible. It was rarely was it ever just a pass to a wing and a clear out and let someone go to work, because the ball movement was always so good. And the other team was probably playing box and one or zone, so that didn't really happen anyway.
Well, but like everything, all the successes, like I'm picturing practice, you know, um, when you were winning, it's like, what do you work on in practice? Like Shane always found the hole. Where was the gap? Let's go back. We got to work on that. And that's what we worked on. Beating a full court press, the 5 of you on like what, 8, 9, 10, whoever was left in practice. And you guys worked it like clockwork, like little soldier, do, and be patient. And they just did. Like he said what to do, and you girls literally did it perfectly. Everything.
Like I've coached enough youth sports now, like that just doesn't happen.
Well, it did. Yeah. Real good.
I'll let you guys talk to my 3rd grader here in a little bit.
I think it does have to go back to what Nikki said, I think, before we had started recording, is that we all started when we were young. And so we had played ball for 10 years, by the time we get to high school, and we played MOYB and Washington League. And so we were just comfortable on the court, because I know that that's something that really can't be coached. Like being confident in what you're doing and being comfortable. We just all were just really, really comfortable on the court, even though the pressure was there. We were just able to handle it because it was just something that we had done for years.
We were really in sync. Like we could anticipate each other because we knew what each other were gonna do. And that's what's really cool. Because you play enough with each other, you just knew. Like, I know, I don't know. I guess I can't give a good example. Any play. I mean, we knew what we were gonna do. We were able to anticipate the ball.
Well, how many times did we run through the last minute situation all year when we never had to use it? We won by 10, 15 points. But, and I know I'm jumping ahead, Eric, but like the game against Frankfurt, we'd done that. How many times in practice? Probably at least 3 times a week we practiced that. It's like, all right, let's just do the same thing we've been doing in practice against 8 people. But at least we only have 5 this time. So I think, to build on what Ashley said, it's the years put in, and and again, we were talking before we started recording, like the hunger was there. We had played a lot of basketball, but we maybe hadn't seen the results that all of us wanted. And we all had that one main goal. And that doesn't happen very often. Even at the high school level, Ashley knows, she coaches. I coached when we were up in North Dakota for a few years. It's really tough to find that. And this group was really special in that they found that. Not only during the high school season, but during our summer seasons as well. We had a lot of fun.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but
think that was huge too. Like, we talk about summer ball. We played together. You see all these club teams and, oh, go play on this team with, you know, 8 different girls. But when it comes school time, who are you playing with? And I think we stuck with our school team and we played a lot of games and a lot of gyms, and our parents drove us. I think they enjoyed it a
I
little
think they
bit.
enjoyed it.
But I mean, they drove us everywhere during the summer. And I mean, we put in a lot of time, a lot of money, to do this. So,
It was very apparent that you guys had made that investment and that your folks had too, obviously. But that you guys wanted to do that. And I've been around teams and groups of people that are like, this is, what is supposed to happen in the summer is you're supposed to go do this stuff, but they don't really want to go do it. And they don't really do it because they want they have that kind of desired outcome. Hey, this is why we're doing it. They don't have that in there. And if you don't have that why, you're just going and running around at summer league. So obviously you guys had taken that to heart. All right, so Karen wants to jump ahead to the Frankfurt game.
Well, hey, Eric, before we get to that, the yearbook says we played Wamego. You've got Wathena. So which is it? Because I can't imagine that Wamego was ever that small, right?
Wathena, definitely Wathena.
Okay.
Yep. The yearbook actually says Wamego, though.
Yep.
That's funny.
And
okay.
I was like, well, maybe in the last 20 years, Wamego was just, yeah.
No, because this was, where was this? Was this in Washington?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not Wamego.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, the Frankfurt game is the sub-state championship. It was loud in there. I remember that. 43-41 was the final score. You guys were actually down 1 at halftime and up by a couple going to the fourth quarter, but Frankfurt kind of had a spurt there to start the fourth quarter. And take me through the end of that game, because it really was, as you look at the state games even, it was really the one time that it was like, what's going on here? So take me through the Frankfurt game.
I remember halftime, just like not necessarily worried, but just kind of like, okay, we need to do something. I don't know if you guys remember anything different, but I still remember. And then I remember like the second half, I felt like we always like had it under control, or like, I don't know. I never got really worked up, I felt. Maybe you guys did.
None of you ever did. Like, Shane had, like, you guys came with the gaps and he gave you the answers and you executed the answers.
I also remember that in my entire career, so even when I was little up until when we play Old Lady League now, that was the one time I had ever fouled out. And I remember that I was sitting on the bench watching this happen and just like having trust that it's okay. We've got this. My team, they know what they're doing. They'll be fine. But I just remember I had that fear on the bench, like, they're really close. What like we just kind of fell into sync. Like so even being a starter and like we've talked about, the bench people came in and still did their job. So I just remember it was a little tense because it was close. But yeah, that was the one time I remember ever fouling out in a game.
You guys mentioned the bench. I see that, and I know she didn't shoot her a ton that year, but Jenna makes a basket and has an assist, and I see that Zilia's got an assist, and I see that Ashley Anderson played in there as well. So there, I do not remember you fouling out though, Ashley. That's kind of interesting. Ashley had 11 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 4 steals. There's a stat line before you fouled out, but win that one, and then it was off to Manhattan. So you get the way Sub-State ends on that Saturday, and then did you guys play Wednesday or Thursday of state? You guys remember your first round game?
I think it was
I don't-
Wednesday, wasn't it?
I think it was Wednesday because the
Friday,
boys were
Saturday.
opposite of us. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you guys play Wednesday. So what's Monday and Tuesday like? Like
Exciting.
so Bailey, you've talked about this. Like you had it from the year before, getting beat by Riley County in the sub-state championship game. So now you've advanced the one game past where you had the year before. What's it like on that Monday and Tuesday of trying to get ready for the state week? Because once you start it happens so fast. So like the only time to breathe has got to be Monday.
I feel like Molly has something to say about
Are
this.
you kidding me? That was Saturday night by what, 10 p.m. We probably would have left Washington. And Shane probably knew where he was getting up and driving to get a game tape. Remember, you had to go get those in hand. He knew where he was going to get all of them.
Gosh, you guys
Or he
are
already had them.
you guys are talking about ancient times. You and Steinbrock and Bouchard. Yeah, sounds terrible.
Pre-huddle, Jesse.
Yeah, no, I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
I remember practices were really intense because I think we had like locked in because we knew, okay, now it's time to really get what we want. I just remember practices were hard. It was 8 versus 5, and we were going longer. And like, I think that Stout knew that we were headed in that direction, and he was going to push us to make sure that we were ready for whatever we were going to face.
Well, and looking at the teams, they were teams that obviously we had never played before too. So I wonder if that played, into our preparation of, okay, these are different teams from a different part of the state. What type of ball do they play? Just to get us, try and get us prepared the best we can. And Eric, before you jumped on, I think I was saying, like, I remember the bus ride that first round, listening to the radio. That they were doing Southwestern Heights. Is that what the team was called, against Minneapolis, and how Minneapolis, knocked them off, and thinking, okay, this is the real deal. This is our time. One loss here, and there's our season. So just having that kind of urgency of, okay, the finish line is there. Like, we know our season's going to end this week. We need to finish strong.
You mentioned Minneapolis there too. You guys, Minneapolis, was Sacred Heart? Did they make it to state that year too?
Ooh.
No.
I don't think so.
Or it was somebody else in 3A, wasn't it? There was, because of the 8 or 9 teams. Was there 8 in the NCAA? I think at the time it was like half the teams made it to state. It was
7.
7.
Yeah. Should be
7. Yeah, that's right. 7 total. 12 games. He's played everybody twice. That's right. 7 total, and I thought there was 3 that year. Maybe I'm thinking of a different year with the guys too. As you get to state, should we talk about the guys for like a minute, because that was also a really unique group of boys that end up third and beats Minneapolis with that Weedle kid.
Yep.
Fairly good at basketball, I guess.
Allegedly.
allegedly. No, I saw it. He was pretty good. How was that like? Kind of, but not really sharing that year with those guys.
Well,
I think it was great. I mean, just as long as they know they got third and we got first. But no, it was great. Honestly, like if you think about our fans, like I think so many more people also, came because they're like, okay, both the boys and girls, how often does that happen? And then like our band came, our awesome pet band came, and to have that what they played before us and then it was our championship. So it was a great environment. And then, of course, at Bramlage, it was fun to be like, oh, not only did, us girls win, but our boys got third. So I think it is neat that they were there too.
I have another freeze frame memory from the boys' third place game, but this isn't the time for that. We'll talk about that some other time.
I will say the fans carried us a lot. Like going to games now, like students don't even go support their teams. And like thinking back to ours, like our student section was packed and everybody was there for the girls' game. And that doesn't ever happen. They always just show up for the boys' game if they come at all. And I think that we just had that thing that gave them the whole school spirit to come, and you just don't see it anymore. So that's one thing that stuck out to me. Like, it was so strong of a support through school, through the parents, through the community. Like everybody just came around us.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add into the community. It was not ever a packed house. There was people, there were parents, there were family, there were people from businesses, people coming just all throughout the community. They supported us too. So it was just kind of like the community and the school just kind of rallied behind everybody, and it really did help with the atmosphere just to excite us, get us going.
All right, so now the state games. St. Mary's was the opponent in the first round. Win that game 54-35. Quick perusing of the stats. You shot 48% from the field, 22 of 46 as a team. Ashley had 16 points and 18 rebounds. And I remember the state run, like, yeah, Ashley's state run, 18, 17, and 18 rebounds. I remember that being something that Shane had talked about probably after that St. Mary's game. And Molly, I'm sure you and Shane talked about this too. Like, nobody else in 2A specifically has any idea what they're walking into against Ashley and Amanda and Nikki. Like, you just nobody else in 2A had that. Had 6 foot and 6'4", and if one's not blocking the shot, the other one's rebounding it, and they had nobody else had any chance at rebounds on the other team.
Nope.
It's crazy.
Do you guys remember the newspaper article? I don't know if it was after the first game or the second game, and it called them the twin. Was it something about the Twin Towers?
The Twin Towers, yes.
Mm-hmm.
They were.
I think I'll take credit for that one. I think I said that a few times on the radio that year, actually. So then you get to the semifinals, and you beat Garden Plains 61-48. You're up 15-6 at the end of the first quarter. Nikki has 19 points, 6 of 10 free throws. For the game, you guys shot 38 free throws, which is just crazy, which is also why you shot 51% from the field. In 3 state tournament games, you guys shot 48%, 51%, and 47% from the field. What do you guys remember about Garden Plain in that semifinal? Not a thing is the answer.
Oh, at that point, you won your first one, so you could kind of relax a little bit, but there was business to attend to.
Right.
I would say.
Yeah, I think we all knew, like, hey, we're not done yet. Like, we got one more game. Like, we're not happy with this. Yeah.
That's good. I couldn't tell you a thing about that game either. Not a single thing that isn't on this stat sheet right in front of me. So then the championship game was against Hoxie. 61-43 was the final. And that was obviously the culmination of everything you guys had worked for. Nikki scores 27, 9 of 18 overall from the field, 4 of 6 on threes. Ashley gets 11 points, 18 rebounds. But Karen has 6 points. Bailey has 6 points and 6 assists. You guys had 16 assists and 20 made field goals. And I remember what wasn't Hoxie another one that tried to press, and you guys just workmanlike up. And if I'm not mistaken, and this perhaps is a memory sullied by too many years now at this point, but was this not a game like, Nikki, do you remember this? Like, for all of those press breaks that you guys had where it was so workmanlike up the court, was this one that for whatever reason you got breakaways all of a sudden?
I think we did, and I also remember like their best player had terrible foul problems.
Yeah.
You guys remember that?
Mhm.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, and I am not searching this, but wasn't Shelley Hoyt the head coach of Hoxie then?
Yes.
The Shelley Hoyt that's coaching Oklahoma State now, right?
No, her
No,
daughter,
not
Her daughter.
JC
her daughter.
Hoyt,
Her JC is coaching now. But was JC on the team?
according to everybody here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Shelley Hoyt is the one with the previous Kansas State girls basketball win record at 90-some before Pat Stiles broke it with Emily Ryan at Central Plains.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. Right. So, I mean, we're playing against notable people, and that was probably the biggest thing I remember about that game for you guys was suddenly you guys actually had like breakaways, and that had just wasn't something you guys did all year. It was so, like I said, kind of methodical up the court against that press, and then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, Nikki's shooting a 3 in 2 seconds. Like, oh, okay. Oh, it's going in. It doesn't matter.
The one thing I remember most about that is I just don't think there was any chance of losing. Like we came to play ball, and that was one thing through the whole thing. I think Bailey mentioned like not being nervous because we knew each other's roles and whatnot, but we were super determined like young ladies at this, you don't, like Molly said too, you don't see that a lot anymore. But I just remember going into that game like there's nothing to be nervous about because we're gonna win. Like we're not gonna lose. We have to do this. So it was a really special time.
Karen, Bailey, Ashley.
Yeah, I think I wasn't nervous. I mean, you were out there with 4 other girls who could play and you could count on them, and I remember just passing it to Nikki and she was just going like she was in the flow, and I think, we just knew each other and how to get the ball to each other and took care of business.
I'm pretty sure it was halfway through the 4th quarter. I leaned over to Bailey during a free throw and was like, I think I smell a victory. It's very awkward and weird thing to say, but we were just so in the moment that it was like, okay, we can finally like take a breath after this whole season.
Yeah. I remember that, Karen. Do you smell that, Bailey? I smell a victory.
I smell a victory. Surely that ended up on Stout's car.
Maybe.
What I don't remember about that day as a whole, because of the way that the schedule worked, the guys actually played before you, right? Their 3rd place game would have been right before your guys' championship. So did you guys watch? I don't know. Did you guys watch any of that overtime, or were you still back in your locker room and all that?
Molly's shaking her head. I was like, I don't remember.
We had protocol, right?
I think I remember watching like a piece of it, but maybe like the
I
first
think you
half.
got to look behind that curtain, know?
Oh, yes, that's what it
Maybe.
was. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So obviously, was that fun to have the guys play first? That would have been the only time that happened all year, right? But the fact that, I mean, obviously everybody was coming anyway, right? But the band was already at full froth, right? Like they were rocking. obviously the crowd would have been, coming unglued from what happened in the guys' game. When you guys stepped out there, that was, and I think Bailey, you kind of said it too. That was probably the most inevitable thing I think I've ever felt on a team. Like after the first quarter, it was obviously close, but I think I even remember saying to Tim, like, Hoxie can't go. Like if Nikki's running, they can't go with it because they don't know what to do with that. They don't have any idea what's about to happen. And you guys did that. So I don't know if there's anything else that I can lead us through at this point. You guys have obviously shared some fun stories and some fun thoughts, but is anybody else want to add anything for the better of the order? And Jesse, where are you posting this so that we can go back and listen to this?
Well, I could just email it to you because post all my stuff on SoundCloud, but sometimes they don't appreciate stuff that is this long. Mainly, it's meant for 3-minute long songs, not hour-long interviews.
Throw it on YouTube.
Well, we are working on that part.
Okay.
So again, girls, I'll let you guys go first before I get to the stuff that I guess needs to be covered.
I think it's super important if there's any young girls listening to this or any young athletes listening that it is so important to set goals and dreams for yourself, even as an adult, but having something to work hard towards not only shapes your young adulthood, but I've used the same skills that I've got from working with this amazing team as an adult to where I am today. And so I just think that you have to have goals and strive to reach them, and the sky is the limit. And it's about dedication, hard work, and I'm a real big person in thinking how important goals are, especially for kids now. Whenever you have so much noise going on, you have so many different things of electronics, and everything's just so much different than it was when we were in high school. And that's all I got.
Did Ellie hear that? Okay, Molly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course you did. Crazy.
Bailey, what do you take away from that whole experience?
Oh, I mean, it was just a heck of a time. I mean, I talked to my kids about it. I talked to my husband, and I mean, even my parents, we still talk about it. And then when I see like Karen's parents or Amanda's parents too, like what's kind of neat is like the close knit of our group and how we are always connected now. And like basketball has opened a lot of doors for me. And like, like Nikki said, even all the skills that you learn through basketball and Stout being such, so organized and precise. And, if you're going to do something, you do it 100%. It doesn't matter if it's cleaning up your cereal or something like that. You do it to the best of your ability. And, I don't know. It's just kind of a neat opportunity, and I'm thankful, every day that I was a part of this, because not a lot of people have been able to experience this, and this was awesome.
I talk about it with my high school girls. Coming back here and coaching where it all started, they call it the legacy year. And so they ask me all the time, what was it? And I just reiterate what we've all talked about, that it's putting in the effort, it's the off season, it's playing together, it's being a team, it's understanding a role. And so I knew that when I stepped back into coach, I literally wanted what we had in that year of 2006 because it was just so phenomenal. It was just such a fun time. And I really want the teams to have that again and just know that all those good things that come out of it, friendships later on, experiences. I'm sure we all push our kids to want to be the same too. They want to build back up that legacy. And so I know that I try to hold my girls' standards to that level just because it was such a fun time. Such fun memories.
Karen, what do you got?
Well, I definitely echo what all these girls that were seniors have to say. That they've all said the fun, the summer, the little extra things. And I was actually talking about this the other day. Is one of the things I remember is after we won and we celebrated out on the court, was Stout kind of stopped us all and said, do not leave this locker room right away. And at the time it was kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. And we did. I mean, we took our time and enjoyed that time as a team, but I don't think we really realized what happened when we left that locker room. Is like we never got that back. I mean, we got this time back where we get to reminisce and things, but like it was a special, special time. And there's not a lot of groups, like Bailey said, that get to experience this. There's not a lot of groups that had all the pieces and were this, disciplined as this group. And didn't have the backing. We've all talked about it, but the parents, the band, the supporters, the girls that came before us that made us better, that got us to where we were, that didn't happen overnight. And so I think that's a big thank you and a big reminder of like, it's not just the people on the court, it's everybody that's involved, whether it be coaches or whoever that got us there. So I always wanted to say thank you, because I don't think how many people knew that. So how much they meant.
Did they storm the court after you guys won? Anyone remember?
No.
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 Oh
Okay.
man, you'd have got tackled by somebody in a purple K-State shirt.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just still salty about it because Kuchar told us, Brad Kuchar, that, act like you've been here before back in 2013 and don't storm the court. Don't act like this is Belleville. And then it's just always been, well, you don't win state every year, so I don't know why the heck we listened to Kuchar for once and actually behaved. But anyways, if they were any more rowdy back in 06 compared to how we were in 13.
You guys were pretty tame, Jesse.
I beg to differ.
He's insulted.
You were a different rowdy.
Well,
Yeah.
I about got a disorderly conduct charge once upon a time after a basketball game, so I will wear that one with pride and say that we were better.
Y'all were different. Molly, what do you have from that? Because we can't end on Jesse.
Oh no, don't worry. We've still got lots more to cover.
Well, the one thing is there's common traits to all these individuals on this team, and it still serves them today in their lives. I've encountered some of them as adults, and these are incredible individual women. These are ladies who showed up, they knew the assignment, and when you're around just a high caliber team, you show up to work and you do the job, you bring the attitude. Shane and I never had a fight an attitude. It was, we're here, guide us. We just need a leader. And that's how it was. And I know that that's how a lot of you are still living your lives, and that's why you're very successful at what you do, and it has served you very well. And I'm just so proud that I got to be a part of it all, and I'm so proud of you all.
Okay, so now this is a time, people, when they talk about the 95 football team, they've tried to say that, oh, those guys weren't that good, blah, blah, blah. We just happened to win state because we were a bunch of hardworking farm boys. So now, ladies, this would be an excellent time for all of you to not be humble. If you'd all want to go over, as I said, doesn't mention in the yearbook, how many all-league honors, all-state honors, postseason accolades that we had on this team. Because you go 26-0, there's obviously going to be a few.
I was going to say, I think my mom on her scrapbooking has the newspaper clippings. I could maybe get like pictures and send, because I don't remember. And I think we could probably all attest that it wasn't individual awards that we cared about, obviously, because we as a team, we knew what we needed to do. We wanted that championship, that team championship was our goal. And I know we definitely got individual honors, but maybe you guys kind of remember better.
I can't even remember who all got all league, because I think there was like a lot. Like I think there was a lot of all league honors.
Yeah.
Would it be
Yeah,
safe? Would
I
it
don't.
be safe to say that all 5 starters were all league?
At least, well, there was probably all league and all league honorable mention, maybe. Do you think all
Yeah.
five of us
Yeah,
got that? I bet.
it
Yeah.
was if I had to say, um, I mean, Ashley, Nikki were definitely first team. Bailey, I want to say you were probably first team all league, and then Karen and Amanda would have been honorable mention. Like I said, and I know we've talked about him. Like I know, and I still can't think of her name, but the girl from Sacred Heart was a phenomenal athlete.
Katie Pratt,
She was younger though.
She was a
What
year.
was
She
she?
Abby
was.
Whitman.
The Whitmans had sisters. There was a couple of them.
Mhm.
She played post at like 5'9", but she could jump really well. I remember. Oh man, I I've got the score sheets in the basement. I could go look that up if I really wanted to. I probably will now. But anyway, so like the all league, and like we said, there were multiple teams from the league at state. So actually, the all league team in 2006 was like you could have rolled that team out and probably won 3A and 4A. Like that would have been a very legit team.
Yeah.
I think I also remember too at that time, I only remember because he had went with me. Stout was coach of the year that year because there were five all-state players and I was one of them, but he got to be voted the coach of the year that year because I remember he was awkward taking a picture with five girls. We had to like stand around him. And I remember, yeah, that he was so humble that he didn't really want the recognition, but the kind of made him come.
Yeah, I mean, you would have had. I mean, the Topeka paper in Wichita would have had Nikki and Ashley first team. The All State tournament team too. Uh,
And it was fun because there were some games that you got to play. Like I remember playing in a game at Tony's Arena, whatever.
Didn't we do Kansas Wesleyan and Cloud? I think the two
That's what's
All-Star games.
fun is then we got to do
Mhm.
some all-star games and
yeah,
a lot of them were
At the
together.
end.
Like
Yeah.
that was fun.
The
Yep.
walking out, whether you got to like pick a song, that was really cool when we got to do
Yeah.
that.
Because I remember doing a 3-point contest against Kendra Wecker, and I thought that was pretty cool. Not as cool as winning state, but I thought it was.
Do you
better
remember?
question: did you win?
You know what? No. I was close though, if I remember right. But here's the thing about me shooting threes. I only shot them for one season. See, 'cause
Right.
I might have shot a couple here and there before, but I was only a guard for 1 year.
That's true. You know how I know that? I've got a different
Years.
document for that.
So
How many of you guys went and played at the game at K-Dub? Any idea?
I don't know.
I don't
Would
know.
it have been you three?
I was
Nikki,
Probably-
Bailey, and Ashley?
Yeah.
So
And then
No.
we did the Cloud one too.
Yeah, well, everybody
believe.
gets to play in the Cloud one, but you go play at K-Dub, well, then yeah, that is 3 all-state, all-class players, which is pretty big deal. Well, anything from anyone else as far as the entire season goes that anyone wants to add here before we slowly start to wrap this up?
My last thing, if you will permit me quick. And I know we've talked about it a couple times, but the thing that I learned watching you guys that year was how important not only understanding what your role is, but owning that role and being the absolute best at it. And that's literally something. So I've got a 7th grade son. I've coached him and his classmates since they were playing flag football in 2nd grade, and I've coached him in junior high. And at they're in 7th grade, and like Jackson knows, okay, I can block and maybe I can catch a pass, and that's fun. and Lamar's probably the running back, and he's been the running back since he was in third grade. But they know what they what their strengths are, and obviously that I learned that from watching you guys is understanding what your strengths are and understanding where your teammates' strengths are and playing into those as often as possible. And um, the fact that you guys had so many different types of athletes, um, you guys handled anything that anybody else who had a strength, a JC Hoyt or this random girl from Sacred Heart or the a Meyer girl from Superior. Like it didn't matter what was on the other side. It was all you guys against that. So that's probably the thing that I learned and admired the most about you guys.
Well, thank you. We'll remember that we were one of your first then. Help shape
Yep,
who you are.
you did, and it helped. And so then Jesse, the other thing that this group helped shape was it shaped help how I looked at a season, so that when the boys got to 2008, and Ronnie Dyke is a senior and Trevor and Gary and Colton are juniors, they were really good, lost in the sub-state championship. And that next year, now, Trevor and Gary, they're the seniors. I'm like, this team is built an awful lot like the girls in '06. Like they've got all of this experience, they've got these roles down. I'm like, this is the one. And then it didn't happen, but it made the 13 season again. All of the guys who had their roles knew what they were supposed to do. You know, Lucas Nooch scored like 50 points all season, but he had like 7 rebounds in the championship game. It was just
best seventh man there ever was.
Best seventh guy you've ever seen. And the great picture of Drew Hoops falling like face first on the court in Bramlage, but he had to play those couple minutes while Trenton needed that breather. So
with mono. Shout out Drew and Lachey giving him mono.
Yeah, right. That's funny. So just like all of that still refers back to you guys, because it's like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. This is how it went before. So yeah, very cool.
Okay, well then the most special thing, well, okay, I guess don't kill the messenger here about this take. So 26-0, yes, that's impressive, but that's been done, how many times around the state, an undefeated season. Too many to count. But for the number of schools that have closed down, consolidated in their final year, to be able to go out, you send both teams to state, the boys get third, the girls win it all. That makes it that much more special for Belleville, for USD 427. So, gals, if you want to comment on that, because, I know one thing I do remember about games, the common chant of USD 427. So many times. Not everybody all at once.
I don't know if you girls understood it, I think the next year was interesting because we got two new or three two a few new players, 3 new players. And that helped big time because of the big losses.
I remember having t-shirts with 427 on them.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do remember those t-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely could not fit into mine anymore.
Drawn to Pride and All or DVS, they probably have. They might even have a quilt with 427 t-shirts on it. You don't know.
And we
If there
forgot
isn't
to
a
give a big
quilt, there
shout
was
out to
definitely a
them.
sign.
Yes.
The hugs for after. We totally forgot to give a shout out to them because they always did hugs after, and they always made us things, and like they were kind of a big part of it too.
Mm-hmm. A big part of the support. Yeah. Yep.
So many senior signs through the years.
Yep.
Did that happen a lot? Were they doing all those senior signs before you guys?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not like it happened a lot. It like that happened, period.
It happens all the
Yeah,
time.
that's that's what I think that's what they do. That's what they did.
Mom just said 1995.
95. All right.
It's
I mean,
been a
that
long
tracks.
time.
Yeah.
Still going today.
Yeah, I finally got a senior banner in my house now from DVF.
You know, Porter and I got one. I can't remember what year, but they did one that was. I still have it in my garage. Actually, it says Kings of the Radio, Eric and Porter for KREP.
I mean,
that was pretty cool.
I mean, I know I got one from the football show choir band. I think, yeah. I mean, any extracurricular, they were doing senior signs. Except maybe FFA, but that's okay.
I have to say something else. This has just been weighing on me since Bailey made her statement because I thought she was going to say exactly what I was thinking at the same time, which is scary. So here we are 20 years later and she's still reading my mind. But one other thing that really stands out to me that I think about frequently is whenever we did win the state championship and we were sitting in that locker room, I do remember Coach Stout saying that we need to make sure we took the moment in because this is something that will never be taken from us and how united we all would be from here forward. And I see that too. Like I think somebody mentioned this already, but I love running into Karen's parents and I love running into Swersinski's and all of everybody. It's like we're still a family. Like we could probably stay on here until midnight. We could just sit on here forever and chat about all of the memories and catching up and whatnot. But he was so right because we are still so united and we can pick right back up where we left off. And I just think that's pretty powerful.
It has been fun doing that with all these interviews. The common connection there on, undefeated football season, undefeated basketball season, last playoff appearance or playoff win for the Buffs. It's, the connections are incredible.
They are what make sports worth it, right? I mean, to make connections with other people, to have shared experiences, even if you don't go 26-0 and win a state championship, you still make those connections and you make those memories with your teammates, your coaches, the people of the community that support those type of things. And it's that's the reason we do sports, right?
Bigger than a box score.
Another fun fact for you, Jesse, is all 5 of the starters are my senior year. All 5 of us that started all played college ball.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see that from a 2A school very often.
No, you don't. So, the names of every single college?
I played at Hutch.
I played at Bethel.
And Amanda and I played at Seward County in Liberal.
And then Amanda had to go to Arizona.
Show off. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry you had to live in Liberal because one of my buddies that's a coach there, it seems absolutely horrible.
Good old Natty Beef.
Well, if nobody else has anything to add, I think... Yeah, I just had the one thing I wrote down here, the fact that you guys won 21 games by double digits, had running clock in 3 of them, and, just one game, one possession. I mean, just absolute dominance by the Lady Buffaloes back in 2006. So we've covered that, obviously, unless anyone has another twist on it. I mean, yeah, not a whole lot for me to work with walking into this thing, but here we are an hour and 20 minutes later.
What a legacy.
Indeed. And again, final year for the Belleville Buffaloes, and nobody can ever take that away from you guys. Okie doke. Well, if nobody else has anything to add, I guess we'll wrap this thing up. Whether you're listening to this in the morning or for our Great Plains Precision Ag pregame show leading up to tonight against Sacred Heart, it is everything night, Sweetheart night, due to having to reschedule that due to our outstanding Republic County senior lady wrestlers. Alumni pep band night as well. And hopefully we get to enjoy Mr. Carol Kuchar back directing the band. Not any official word on if that's happening or not. So if you come to the game tonight expecting that and it's not there, I apologize. My bad. Senior night, and then recognition for the 20th anniversary of the 2006 Lady Buffaloes. So, gals, it's been 20 years. Does it still seem like it was just yesterday? How fast has that 20 years flown?
Makes us feel real young, Jesse.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, I talk with all the guys my age, and the fact that that was 13 years ago is crazy. I mean, yeah, it's just insane how quickly time flies. And I mean, yeah, Eric, the beginning of your career, you were a very young man when you first started out here in Belleville, and now you've been up in Nebraska for how many years?
10 going on 11 years up here now. So 21 years of broadcasting, basically. I mean, probably the most notable thing that came out of that season, really, for you guys was when I met Angie. So, you know, she
You were at one of our games?
no,
Would
it was
that
over
be special?
over Christmas break. Actually, it's New Year's Eve. But she did come down for the championship game. She actually met us at Applebee's. We were reminiscing about that the other day. About
I don't remember Applebee's.
I mean, old enough, like so long ago that roaming was still a thing, and she was terrified to call me from her Nebraska phone number on my Kansas phone number while being in Kansas because she was going to get charged roaming. And so yeah, second time she'd ever been in the state of Kansas was that day. So memorable times.
Goodness.
Awesome.
Please don't put that on the actual whole thing, Jesse.
But I mean, I didn't plan on doing much editing. We're just throwing this whole thing on there for people to enjoy. It's a rolling story.
Jesse, every
Okay, so with that, I guess, girls, congratulations, ladies. Again, a great year, one to look back on. I know still talked about a lot in the community, and again, being the final year there for USD 427, a good time. So, folks, next up after this, going to be hearing from Coach Stout. Don't quite know how that one's going to go. Doing that one later to get the... Well, yeah, again, compared to how all these other interviews went with the teams compared to hearing from the coaches, that's just the best way to do it, because in the teams, you know, as they've mentioned here, vandalizing his house and yard and whatnot, that might not have got brought up if Stout was on this call.
What do you call it? Vandalizing, Jesse. We were just showing
Just a little fun.
our
Yeah.
I don't think we
appreciation.
damaged anything.
We were
Damaged
decorating.
anything. Yeah.
Team bonding.
Team bonding.
Do you hear the backpedaling happening right now?
Don't let him tell you he didn't like it. He was special.
He's probably looking out the window at us like, oh, it's just them again.
Now we would have like a ring cam nowadays. Girls, don't be
Yeah, we couldn't
your
get away with
coaches
that.
nowadays.
Yep.
Getting arrested.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Okay, well, gals, thank you again for taking time out of your Sunday night to join me here. Eric, thank you for doing this. Again, former voice of the Buffaloes. Didn't have the opportunity to be able to hunt down whoever called the 95 state team, so that was too bad. But yeah, this making it just work and fly that much better. So thank you all, and I guess with that, folks, that'll wrap up this portion of our Great Plains Precision Ag pregame show here on KARE 92. Whether you've got the entire workday left till the game tonight, or if you're listening pregame just a couple hours before, you're tuned in Buffalo basketball here on KARE 92.